Hello, viewers. Let's talk about NURUK from Korea today. NURUK is the essential ingredient that you need to brew Korean rice wine. And when I was in Korea this summer, I got 6 kinds of NURUK. I had never brewed with them before. I brought them back and I brewed with them. And so today I want to summarize everything. This is what you're going to see in today's video. First of all, I'm going to compare the fermentation process, what happened when I brewed with these different kinds of NURUK. Second, I'm going to compare the flavors of the end product. How did the brew taste in the end? And make that comparison. Third, I really want to cover how did I acquire this NURUK? What if you want to get NURUK while you're in Korea? How do you do it? Well, I'll explain what I did. And at the end, I'll give you a peek into what's coming next. So thanks for joining me today. If you like this video, please click that like button and subscribe. And please click the bell to be notified when I publish a new video on the subject of rustic Asian rice wine every week. And I really appreciate your help in spreading the word by sharing this video wherever it is appropriate. So thanks again. So let's get into it. The first topic is comparing the fermentation process. Now, first thing I want to say is that all of these seem to ferment better than the NURUK I buy here in the U.S. So they seem just a little bit stronger, a little more powerful. The enzymes a little bit better. So I'm really happy about that. So for all of these, they all seem just a bit better than the supermarket NURUK that I can get here in the U.S. And the second thing I want to say is that these were not the same at all. There is variation. This is a product that really does depend on the brand and the particular product you're buying. The fermentation process is different for these. So to start off with, let's review the 6 kinds of NURUK that I got in Korea. First 2 were these Soyulgok NURUKs. This one made with Korean wheat and this one made with American wheat. The next 2 I tried were these 2. These are Sanseong NURUKs. This one made with Korean wheat and this one made with American wheat. And these ones had more of a NURUK aroma than the Soyulgok. And then I brewed with these 2. This is Jinju gokja, and the company that sold this one is called Campesina. So this is so those are the 6 kinds of NURUK I brewed with. Day 3. It's day 7. So let's compare the fermentations. I would say that both kinds of Soyulgok NURUK and also the Jinju gokja NURUK, those were all especially fast fermentations. Fermentation went quickly, but also the brew at the end settled quickly, and there wasn't that much jjigae when I was filtering. In terms of NURUK aroma, these 2 had the strongest aroma, especially the Sanseong NURUK. It has a especially powerful aroma. So I do recommend that you use the gokja method. Put it in the sun for a day. Let it air out a bit. That helps with the strength of the aroma. But I do want to say that I do want an authentic NURUK taste. I don't want it to be totally mild and flavorless. I do want some NURUK flavor. And one thing I want to show you is that even though these might have looked different 3 days after bottling, now it's been a few weeks, and all of the bottles have settled pretty much the same. So, so that's good. It was just in the earlier stages of aging was that you could see a difference in how these brews settled. But in the end, they're pretty much the same. So in terms of jigami, it turned out it was the Campesina NURUK that had the least amount of jigami. And I actually think that was a notable difference. When I brewed with the Sanseong NURUK, it did end up with more jigami, enough that I think was not just an accident of measurement or environment. It did seem to make a real difference. So this sort of no-name package actually produced a brew with the least amount of jigami. No-name package from Campesina. Okay, so there were observable differences in the fermentation process, but of course what really matters is how does the brew taste in the end? Were there differences in that? And yes, there were, but I'm going to compare them right now just to refresh my memory and make sure I do a nice side-by-side comparison. Of course, it's always a challenge opening these bottles. They are carbonated and they will self-mix quickly. I was able to pour off a bit of Jinju to compare the Soyulgok with the Sanseong. And the Soyulgok brew, the Jinju does taste stronger in alcohol. I think it has a more balanced flavor overall. The aftertaste for the Sanseong NURUK Jinju, I think, is a lot more astringent. Tastes a bit tart in the middle. Now, it's not bad, but it is a different flavor. Okay, now let's see if I can get any Jinju from the Jinju gokja or the Campesina. Okay, so that just wasn't possible. They were too carbonated, they self-mixed. But we'll move on to tasting the takju, and that usually has more flavor anyhow, so that'll be a better comparison. So here's a difference. When I smell both of the Soyulgok brews, it smells sweet. And then the Sanseong NURUK, yeah, I still smell the NURUK, especially for the Sanseong NURUK made with Korean wheat. But actually, both of these Sanseong NURUKs, I still smell them. Jinju gokja, I smell the NURUK. It also has sort of a sour smell. And the Campesina, a bit lactic sour as well. Okay, for the Sanseong brews, I definitely taste the NURUK, especially the one made with Korean wheat. That NURUK is especially, I can really taste it. And both of these Sanseong brews are more sour. Okay, so if you like the flavor of NURUK, yes, choose Sanseong NURUK, brew with that. That, yeah, it's especially noticeable. And I put both the Soyulgok NURUK and the Sanseong NURUK in the sun, so they did have a chance to air out, but still I end up tasting the Sanseong NURUK more. Still a good brew. Not quite as strong in alcohol, I think, either. Still a good brew, but the Soyulgok is a lot cleaner in taste. You don't get that funky NURUK flavor. Now the flavor of the Jinju gokja brew, quite sweet aftertaste. Yeah, interesting. Okay, and the Campesina. So this was brewed most recently. This tastes the freshest, and I think it does have more sweetness left because it is fresher. Yeah, and they're still bubbling. So all of these end up with quite a lot of carbonation. Secret to getting carbonation in your makgeolli is just to leave it closed in the fridge for a while. It will get carbonated, so be careful when opening. So the Campesina brew has a nice flavor. Okay, so my favorite flavors here are the Soyulgok NURUK and the Campesina. And the Sanseong NURUK ends up producing a more acidic brew and with a stronger NURUK flavor and aroma. It's really noticeable. So if you're trying to avoid a strong NURUK flavor, you should also avoid the Sanseong NURUK. It's a different style of NURUK, and it's just a stronger flavor. Now, all of these produced a decent brew. They but they're different from each other. Although the two kinds of Soyulgok taste exactly the same to me, and the two kinds of Sanseong NURUK are quite similar as well. Yeah. So okay, I got to taste every tokju here and compare the flavors. So let's talk about the prices of these NURUK. So I ordered these while I was in Korea in the summer of 2022. And of course, these prices are subject to change. But this is what I paid online on Gmarket. And so the Soyulgok, the Korean wheat version of Soyulgok, was 7,800 won. The US wheat was 4,000 won. And that 4,000 won, that was the most inexpensive NURUK. And it actually has a great flavor and good fermentation. So next, the Sanseong NURUK, the Korean wheat version was 9,500 won, and the US wheat version was 5,500 won. And next, the Jinju gokja, that was 11,900 won, and the Campesina was 10,000 won. So the most expensive two, those were the most expensive two, and the cheapest were the NURUKs made with American wheat, and especially the Soyulgok was the cheapest at 4,000 won, which is a great deal. So I can recommend using any of these NURUKs, but especially the Soyulgok, and the made with American wheat is just inexpensive and works well. So that's a very reliable one to use. I'd buy that again for sure. So here's the pattern I see here. The NURUK I got in Korea is generally better than the NURUK I got in the U.S. And even the most expensive NURUK I got in Korea is the same price as the NURUK I got in the U.S. The NURUK I bought in Korea was in 1 kilogram packages, and the NURUK I buy in the U.S. is often in 1 pound packages. So just keep that in mind when you're doing the comparison in prices. And now some advice on ordering. First thing, let's say you're in Korea for a week. That's just enough time to order NURUK, get it delivered to you. So that's what I would recommend doing. You just can't find NURUK reliably in a store. I'm used to going to a Korean supermarket in the US and being able to find NURUK. If you go to a supermarket in Korea, you just won't find NURUK. I really looked in every kind of supermarket, grocery store. They just don't have NURUK. They don't sell NURUK for some reason. But you can order it online easily. And to order it online, you probably need the help of a Korean friend, someone with that can help you order, has a Korean ID, knows how to enter the Korean addresses properly. That's tricky too. The Korean websites are a bit different. You're going to have to get used to them. One of the things, for example, in Gmarket is that you search for your product. I'll provide the links to every NURUK that I bought, but it's a bit tricky because you go to that link and you still have to select a particular product number, and if you don't do that, you're going to get some other product. And there's every product number you choose has an offset to the price, so keep that in mind. I'm going to try to describe that in the link, but you're going to have to do the work of selecting the product number. If you don't do that, you're going to get a different product, and it might be something totally different, like some like a container instead of NURUK. So you don't want that to happen. Make sure to double check that the product you're ordering is what you want. So I really could not order this on my own. I needed a Korean friend to help me with the ordering and payment process. Otherwise, I was just stuck, not able to, because I didn't have the right payment, the right ID to be able to do it on my own. So that's my recommendation. Get a Korean friend to help you. Order it online. It should only take a day or two to be delivered to you. So if you're in Korea for a week, that's enough time to allow for contingencies, and you'll be able to get all the NURUK you want. NURUK I showed you today are very standard brands of NURUK. I think you can get them on pretty much any Korean online shopping site. You can get these kinds of NURUK. So these aren't obscure brands or anything. They're just the standard kinds that you can get on pretty much any website. So I did order this on Gmarket, so I'll put those Gmarket links in the description. But again, I'm sure you could order this from pretty much any Korean online shopping website. You could order the same brands of NURUK. And the next thing that's coming up, look at the back of these packages. There are recipes directly on the package. And I'll let you guess for these recipes from the manufacturers of NURUK. guess how much NURUK they want you to use in a recipe. Well, so stay tuned and find out that. I'm going to make a video discussing and comparing these recipes on the packages, and then I'm going to do them. I'm going to scale them so they fit in my jar, and I'm going to brew these recipes on the package. And they're not the same recipe that I'm following, that I normally follow. The proportions are quite different, so that'll be interesting. So the recipes that are on these packages are a lot different than what I'm used to, but I'm going to try them out and see how it turns out. So stay tuned for that. There's a lot more brewing coming your way. Thank you for watching until the end.